Okay, so let's take a look at how you can use Postman API platform, right? So if you go to postman.com, you will find a page that looks like this. Only difference being I am logged in here, which you can do as well by signing up to an account, right? Once you do that, it will present you with screen like this, right? It will also ask you to download one of the desktop app, right? If you go to desktop app page, it will look something like this. You can download the installer, and once you do, it should be installed, and then you can simply access it through your search, right? So assuming you're on Windows 10 or 11, it would be possible to go through your menu and search for Postman, right? Once you log in here with the same account that you logged in with on browser, it will present you with this screen, right? So what we can do is we can click on this hamburger menu on the left hand side, right? So clicking on that, then file, then new, right? So whenever you do that, page like this should open, right? There is also one more thing to notice, the workspace, right? So you can access workspace from here, right? Here you can create as well. So currently I already have my workspace, right? If you want to create workspace, simply type in the name, right? So let's see, DevNami workspace, right? So I'm going to type some summary as well. Visibility, it is personal. If you want to make it private, you can do so, but it would require you to upgrade the account, right? There is also team version, so if you have multiple members within the team, you can do so. There is partner option, which also requires upgrade of account. Then there is public, so whatever you do in workspace will be public to everyone. So you can stick with personal, create workspace, right? Once you create workspace, it should look something like this, right? Here you will find the sidebar that shows you collections, then APIs, environment, mock server, monitor, flow, and history. So this makes your sidebar. On the bottom, you will find there are footer icons. So it starts with hide sidebar option. Then if you are keeping yourself in sync, then it will show you online status, then find and replace, console, cookies, capture requests, runner, and trash, right? There are three other icons as well, like help, then bootcamp, and 2pane view, right? Then comes your actual workspace pane, where you'll see the activity, then you have filtering options, then the item visible in the workspace, and then workspace setting, and at the top you will have your header that shows menu, that will be constant for entire application, right? Then you have settings, notifications, then your accounts, and upgrade options. So if you are already upgrade user, then this won't be visible. This invite option is for those who want to invite into the workspace, right? So say I have a team of 2 to 4 members, I wish to invite them, I will use this option and add them to this workspace, right? So if I click on this on the sidebar, it will show me respective options. So first one was collections. So whenever I create some get, put, delete requests and then create a collection of them, they get listed here, then comes API. So if you are creating an API, they will be listed here. Environments, you can have global variables for your environment. Then there is mock server, right? You can create, add, remove. There is also monitor option. So you have currently no monitor setup, you can create one. Then there is flow options, which is in beta right now. Then finally history. So here you see, any actions we take within this workspace should be within this history, so you can go through them all over, right, and check what you have done so far within the workspace, right. You can also adjust your workspace based on this movement. Simply this pane can be moved up to certain space, right. You can totally take it to the left and your sidebar will be shrunk like this. You can move it, it will appear like this. So get used to this, right. Now what you can do, you can check out the progress. So here you see, you have created an account. You can send first API request, then you can save your request, right. Finally we will also take a look at how you can create collection. So let me shrink this sidebar to the left. Now let's go to the request, right. So as you can see, it will immediately show you the sidebar, right, and the option here you can see create request, right. So what we can do, click on that, it will immediately show you the tab which says untitled request, right. Now if I want to put a get request, right, so what I will do, I will type in postman-eco.com, then / get. This is pretty much common first request that most of you will learn, right. So if you click on send, it will send that request. Now let's take a look at what happens here. So below exactly that URL bar, you will find this get, post, put, patch, all these requests, right. You use that before your URL so that your platform recognizes what type of request that is. Then you click on send, right. Once you hit send, what it will happen is basically it will show you the results, right, and those results look something like this, right. And as you can see and guess, it is in JSON format. So in one of the tab you will find these results, and you can make them clear to view by using pretty tab or raw tab. Raw tab will make it look a bit more chaotic, right. Then pretty will make it easy to read. Then there is preview, which will show your browser view. Then visualize, so you will have to set this up before you can use it. So we'll go back to the pretty option. Then there is cookies. So if the request that we make triggers this, and that cookie will be shown here. So especially for those with authentication related requests, you will find while testing you have list of cookies added here. Then there is header option. So usually your header data is passed through such requests, and you will get it in return something like this. So you have key and value, date, then content type, content length, connection, e tag, vary, and set cookie. These are some of the results that you get from header. Then there is a test result. Notice that it will result in 200 OK status requests, time 570 ms, and the size of that request. These details you will get at the bottom in pane like this. Right now you made your first request, right? So we will go to sidebar. Now here you see your history shows this particular request that you made. You can delete it, you can add request to a collection, and then there is this hamburger menu. It will let you save request, monitor request, document, mock, and delete. Right, so what we can do here is we will create a collection. We can use the history tab or we can use collection. So if we choose to use this particular query here within our history, I want to create a collection out of that. So this is my request name. I choose save request, right? So let's see, in history I click on add request to collection, then this window opens, right? Can add description, first collection, right? Then save to, right? I don't have any collection, so I will have to create one. So let's see, I will type in examples and I will create one, right? So this collection is empty, so my current request name and its description will be part of this examples request, right? So here you notice we have done the basics, right? So what we have done so far, we will go through this. First we signed up to postman.com, then we downloaded this application along with the login details that we did on the official website. Then we looked at the sidebar and notice all the available options, right? We also looked at our footer options, right? What were they, right? So if you want to even go deeper with that, you can click on console. You will find pane that looks like this, right? So here you can expand your request that you make, right? Then we also have the cookies which you can expand and check as well. Then capture requests, right? It will open a new tab within Workspace where you can check it, right? So we'll go into deep for that. There is also runner. We'll have to give one more specific session for runner as well, right? Then there is trash and two pane option, then bootcamp, and finally help. So that was your footer. Then coming back to Workspace, whenever you create a new request, it will open a new tab, right? Then you add the URL for fetching your API requests or making any other API requests, right? You add that part through this drop down menu. So if you want to post something, you will choose post or put or delete, etc., right? So if you are working with CouchDB, often you will have to work with get, put, delete, right? So in that case you will be making use of this, right? So once you add URL, click on send, it will show you the results, right? Result looks something like this. Can even check how these results look, right? Apart from that, the part that I didn't cover is parameters, right? So what type of parameters we have key and value and description. Then there is authorization, so we will have to particularly handle one such request in order to cover this. There is headers, body, then pre-request script. When we handle authorization, we'll go through all of these separately, right? So for now, these are some of the basics of how to install Postman, how to use Postman account to create your first request, then how to check the output, then how to create your first Postman collection. I'm sure by now you have got these ideas.